So the final item is this level 6 module that I coordinate called Managing Sustainability. I'll tell you a bit about what I think the module does, or what I hope it does, and then Andrew will give a quick overview of what the student experience is like on the module. As Mark already said, it sits within the Business and Management Department, but it is available for many level 6 students, and the overall aim is about furthering student knowledge associated with sustainability, not just in a business context but more broadly, and also to facilitate their personal development. A little bit of an overview there on the module structure. In the first semester, we focus very much on getting an understanding of sustainability issues, looking through environmental, social and economic elements, and then in the second semester we apply that to a business context. The way it's delivered is via a fairly standard program of lectures and seminars. We engage in many group activities throughout the module, lots of individual tasks, some sort of outside of class time with a view to helping students understand what they know and how they feel, which we can then bring to the classroom and share to get an appreciation of what other people know and how other people feel. So it is very much, as I say, about personal development and knowledge development alongside each other. Why do students choose this module? This is feedback from students. For many students, it's about having an existing passion for sustainability. For business and management students, quite often it's because it looks a little bit different to economics, marketing and other more standard business modules, and so they like the idea of doing something that's maybe not what they've been doing for the previous 2 years. Recognition of the employability agenda, thinking about sustainability in business. It is a topical issue and an expectation that employers, which we'll explore this afternoon, employers will have a sense of wanting these kind of skills. Interestingly, students also commented on the assessment, that a reflective log, again a little bit different to a business report, they felt that that might be a useful thing to have engaged with. And we do have quite a multidisciplinary profile of students on our module. There's quite a large percentage of them here. If you put your hands up, Managing Sustainability students, there we go. Yeah, so quite a lot of us here. And they drawn from business and management, geography, environmental studies, but also health and film and media and education as well. So that gives us a fantastic base to have interdisciplinary discussions. In terms of the assessment, as Mark mentioned briefly earlier, there is a group report task which they have submitted last week, which is why they're looking relatively relaxed, and they're also a reflective log at the end of the module, and the intention of that is for them to reflect, and they were encouraged strongly at the start of the module to make a few notes about how they felt and what they thought they knew about sustainability, to give them something to, a sort of marker to track their journey throughout the module. I think one of the unique things about this assessment on this module is the group allocation. I allocate the groups at random. There is no self-selection of groups, and that's very deliberate, and I explained this to the students at the start of the module and asked them to embrace this, that it will be difficult. It's difficult for them, it's difficult for me to manage, but the outcome is extremely beneficial, and across the few years I've been involved in this module, students have said, we weren't sure, we were a bit anxious after what you said at the beginning, but actually we're really glad that you made us do this. So for me that's a good outcome. In terms of the QAA, HEA guidance which you mentioned, some of the advice that they give about how to assess sustainability related learning, I'm quite happy that actually we do that on this module. The assessment package that we have does tick all of those things. In terms of my experience teaching on this module, I find it a privilege. This is a subject area that I care about. It's a real privilege to see the students develop and their personal development as well as knowledge development. I find it very intellectually stimulating because every year we've got a different group of students, they're all bringing different things to it, and it forces me to challenge my perceptions of the world as well. It can be frustrating, of course, you could apply this to any module, of course, teaching experience, but on the whole, as I say, charting that student development is hugely motivational. The group work and group task, as I say, yeah, it is. It requires honesty with them about it being difficult. It requires them to be honest with me about their individual inputs and so on. It requires a lot of time communicating with students, and there's probably very few of the students in this room who didn't communicate with me at some point about their group project. But at the end of the day, this is the kind of feedback that I get from students, that this process has helped them to understand who they are, helped them to realise where their niche is in life. That's sort of worth it. That's worth it for me. But what do the students think? Let's see what Andrew's take on that is.
Okay, so Georgie's delivery of the module is very laid back, but we find that we learn a lot from it. And with it, that being sort of the case, we find it's very student-led as well, so Georgie will take on board what we say quite easily. The module will take you out of your comfort zone, but doing this, it improves the way you work, because you can, as you find out, work with different people. Content-wise in the module, it's relevant to daily life, it's interesting, practical, it's not just business focused, even though it is in the business module package, it is not just for business students. So non-business backgrounds building upon knowledge, whereas business students learning. I myself am a pure business student, but I found that I took the module in order to gain a wider understanding of issues that we'll be facing in the business environment in the future. Whereas some students found that they used the module just to connect the dots with what they had already learned. So some students had already come from sustainable backgrounds, and they had found that they had more of a basis to it than business students did. The student profile of the module is very diverse. There are a lot of people, not just academically, but as individuals ourselves, a lot of different people from different backgrounds. With that, we can learn lots of different opinions and see different ways of thinking from the same content that we're delivered. So there's different opinions, perspectives, viewpoints and skill sets, and most of these different skill sets came really useful in our group report. So the most valuable thing I've learned gained from the module is working with other students from different student groups and hearing the opinions on the same issues. So if we have a slight not disagreement, but like a slight debate, there's different opinions which we wouldn't have had if it was probably just pure business students. And coming back to the assessment, the group report, this was a quote, it's achieved a greater goal than we would have been able to achieve alone. And we found that having groups that have different students from different disciplines did throw up a few challenges, because there was different ways of doing a report from different subjects. But it was quite fun to overcome, actually, and to work through it. It was really good. So in general, the module is more stimulating. It's got more ideas to think about. It's not just being delivered content. The guest speakers are good because you can come in and hear something different, completely different view from someone else from the university or from outside the university. And the seminars are fun and engaging, so it keeps you wanting to learn more about sustainability, I found, anyway, personally. I'll hand back to Georgie.
In terms of the broader impact of this module, and I'm sure this goes for the other sustainability-related modules and programs, not just at the university but externally as well. This kind of subject matter really does make a difference to students' lives. Again, a series of quotes, and I was sort of quite overwhelmed to get some of these back a couple of weeks ago. Students feeling better equipped, not just from an employability point of view, but from a sort of personal perspective. The fact that a business and management based module can impact on the way people view their lifestyle. I find that very exciting, and even a sense that those students who undertake this module feel it should be compulsory as part of general sort of personal development of students. Through the course of this module, my views have been challenged, heard from inspiring and forward-thinking people, seen that business can be an agent of change. That's actually a quote from a student, although I would actually say the same thing about myself as a tutor being involved in this module. There is a real mutual benefit to engaging with this sort of subject matter. Studying sustainable development has had a positive influence on my choice of career path, and again that's something we'll explore this afternoon in terms of employability and engagement with ESD. For me, rewarding has been both the module has been both rewarding and a challenging experience, enabling me to explore my own beliefs and values, and that's again a common message that I get back from students, particularly through their reflective log at the end of the module. So for us, I think, and hopefully I'll get some nods of agreement in the room about this, the opportunities that a multidisciplinary module, I guess particularly at level 6 when students are coming into it a little bit more aware of who they are, but even so the journey that they go through as a result of engaging with this material is fairly significant, I think. So I feel that that's a very good it's a good model for delivering sustainability content.
Great.
So that is our end of our showcase activity for the morning.
Well, let's give you a round of applause for
Okay.